Hello my friends and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George and today I have yet another underrated album for you. An album which I really do not understand how this album does not get more love and more appreciation. It deserves so much more recognition. Today's band, all the way from Richmond, Virginia, I believe. US band, one of the biggest and most influential bands of the new wave of American metal movement, alongside the likes of Devil Driver and Chimera. This band, Lamb of God, were and are such a massive force, such prominent metal force. This album from 2011 in fact, even older than I thought, Resolution, their 6th album, is an absolute beast. However, I can remember quite clearly when this album came out. I read a few things and some friends of mine who were also Lamb of God fans checked out the album. I absolutely freaking loved it from the off. And a lot of people were like, yeah, it's okay. It's alright, it's got some good tracks on there. I like the single Ghost Walking. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, it's a bit sort of long, it's a bit drawn out. It's not as good as Wrath. It's not as good as Ashes from the Wake. Never compare. It's just not going to help the situation. You're not going to find peace there. But you know what? I have never understood that. No, it's not as aggressive and groovy as Wrath. That is a high point in their career. But then comparing it to As the Palaces Burn or Ashes of the Wake or Sacrament, you will find no peace there. There is no point in doing that. This is a superb album. Resolution is a brilliant album. You get that intro track there, Straight for the Sun, which is a sludgy, southern style doom track. Really interesting intro piece. It's so visceral, gritty. Love it. And then you get launched straight into Desolation, which is just a pummeling Lamb of God bruiser. Absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Ghost Walking, which I believe was one of the singles, absolute stormer. Killer riffs. Randy Blythe sounds absolutely fantastic. He has got one of the most unique and brilliant voices in metal. He sounds like a man possessed. Absolutely fantastic. The Undertow, full of immensely groovy, crushing riffs. Absolutely love it. Sounds fantastic. Number 6, a bit more of a deeper and more emotive track there. It's got, it's certainly not the doom song. It's not a gothic track or anything like that. I mean, it's very genuine. There's a bit of a change in Randy's vocals where it feels like he's putting a whole lot of emotion into it. Then we get Barbarossa, intro piece there. Cheated, another great track. Absolutely, that's a Lamb of God stormer, no doubt at all. Killer riffs. Chris Adler absolutely destroying the kit there. Brilliant. Now we get to the latter half of the album there. You've probably got the best tracks on the album, in my opinion. A track like Insurrection. Now that is a very interesting track because that is the first track that showcased Randy Blythe almost doing a clean vocal style, but it's more of like a menacing spoken word, a little bit of a muttered vocal style. Really different, really interesting, but it's really effective. And that song is freaking heavy. It's full of amazing riffs, crushing grooves. It's absolutely delightful. Terminally Unique follows on, and that is so crushingly groovy. That reminds me more of their more recent albums, such as Omen or the self-titled album, where you get these absolutely thrashing monster breakdowns, absolutely crushing grooves, delightful stuff. And that is a punishing track. Sounds fantastic. Absolutely love it. To the End, good. Visitation, good. Brilliant tracks, both of those. King Me. Now that is a very weird, very dark, almost sort of symphonic at times as well. There's different sort of orchestral elements thrown in there in the background. Massive track. It sounds brilliant. It's a crushing way to close the album. Just like the way they closed Wrath, you've got this grand, epic track to finish things off. And it sounds brilliant. And I do not understand how this album and this material does not get more love and appreciation, because it is a storming album. It's just as good as number 7 or the more recent albums. Like I say, I absolutely loved Omen. It's one of my favourite albums of 2022. I love that self-titled album as well. Love Sacrament. Love Ashes of the Wake. As the Palaces Burn. As New American Gospels. You know, all great albums. But this album, I think this is something very special, and it is all too often overlooked and underrated. So if you are a fan of Lamb of God, remind yourself, reacquaint yourself, refamiliarise yourself with this amazing material. If you've never heard of Lamb of God, then you really, really ought to. But this is a fine album. This is just as good a starting point as any, in my opinion. It's a phenomenal album. Absolutely love it to bits. What do you think? Are you a fan of this album? I'm very interested to hear from other fans of Resolution, because I think it's a stormer. But what do you think? I'm very interested to hear. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. Do feel free to like and subscribe as always. Check back soon for more reviews and recommendations. And as always, my friends, take care and stay heavy.